Welcome to Han's History Guide. Today, we dive into the life of a man whose mind reshaped the universe, yet whose childhood suggested he might never succeed at all. This is the untold, mysterious, and fascinating story of Albert Einstein, the quiet boy who became the greatest genius in modern history. Albert Einstein was born on March 14, 1879, in Ulm, Germany. But unlike the prodigy people imagine, his early years were strange. Suspiciously strange, Einstein did not speak until he was almost 4 years old. His parents feared something was wrong. His teachers thought he was slow. But inside that silent child, a storm of ideas was forming. Einstein later said that the moment that awakened his mind happened at the age of 5. His father gave him a small compass. Simple, ordinary, harmless. But to young Albert, it was a message from the invisible world. He watched the needle move without touch, without force, without reason. And he thought, something unseen is pulling this, something hidden rules the world. That question would haunt him for the rest of his life. In school, Einstein was considered a troublemaker, not because he misbehaved, but because he questioned everything. Why does light behave the way it does? Why does time move forward, not backward? Why does gravity exist? His teachers wanted obedience. Einstein wanted truth. He once said, "School tried to make me a soldier. I wanted to be a thinker." He wasn't a top student. In fact, he failed several exams. But the world soon learned that grades don't measure genius. They only measure obedience. At the age of 16, Einstein imagined a thought experiment that would later change physics forever. He tried to picture himself riding alongside a beam of light. Could he catch it? Could he freeze it? This strange mental game would later become the seed of his most important discoveries. But destiny wasn't kind at first. Einstein struggled to find a job after graduating. No university wanted him. No laboratory accepted him. So the man who would reshape the universe began working at a small patent office in Switzerland, a place where ideas went to sleep. But for Einstein, it became a sanctuary. Hidden behind piles of inventions, he started developing theories that would shake the foundations of science. And then came the year 1905, what historians call the miracle year. In just 12 months, Einstein published 4 papers that completely rewrote the laws of physics. 4 papers. From a man who wasn't even a professor. 4 papers that would change everything. The first explained how light could behave both as a wave and a particle, predicting the technology that would one day create lasers, solar panels, and the digital world. The second solved a centuries-old mystery about atoms and molecules, proving once and for all that they truly existed. The third paper described something extraordinary, the idea that time is not constant, that 2 people moving at different speeds will experience time differently. It was the birth of the special theory of relativity. And then came the formula, the most famous equation ever written. E equals mc squared. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. Einstein had discovered that matter and energy were the same thing, just in different forms, and that inside every object, even a grain of sand, unimaginable power was hidden. But Einstein wasn't done. A decade later, in 1915, he presented the general theory of relativity, a theory so bold, so revolutionary, that many scientists simply refused to believe it. Einstein claimed that gravity wasn't a force at all, but the bending of space and time. Imagine space as a giant fabric. Place the sun on it, and it creates a curve. The planets aren't pulled by the sun. They simply roll around the curve. This idea would later predict black holes, gravitational waves, and the expansion of the universe itself. In 1919, Einstein's theory was tested during a total solar eclipse. The results confirmed he was right. Overnight, newspapers around the world called him the new Newton. Einstein became a celebrity, a scientist with the fame of a rock star. But behind the smiles existed a man full of contradictions. Einstein hated fame. He preferred walking alone, playing the violin, or sailing, even though he didn't know how to swim. He would often drift into the middle of the lake, lost in thought, ignoring the wind, ignoring danger. For him, the mind was always more important than the body. But perhaps the darkest chapter of Einstein's story came after he fled Nazi Germany in the 1930s. As a Jewish scientist, he became a target of hatred. His books were burned. His name was erased from textbooks. But Einstein escaped to the United States, where he continued his work at Princeton. Then came 1939. A terrifying rumor reached the scientific community. Germany might be developing a new, unimaginable weapon: the atomic bomb. Knowing the danger, Einstein signed a letter to President